Okay, so if you're looking at the bicultural part and the Treaty of Waitangi Vishu,
Yes.
generally you have explained the three principles, you've explained it correctly. Okay, what I would like is for you to take at least one principle, and if I remember, you did warehouse, correct? Think about warehouse and give me one example of how this company is implementing it, or if they are not, generally, perhaps from your knowledge.
So the first one is like principle of protection.
Okay.
So there must be like confidentiality management at the workplace to safeguard data about the employees.
Okay.
And in like manner, warehouse should implement the safeguard policies and the parameters at the workplace so that workers and employees can be safe. And also in the protection, we can say like they are protecting Maori communities, like they are students who are willingly like to study, but they are not affording laptops. Recently, they launched for the students. They launch like they are giving laptops in free of at free of interest, and also they can pay off after their studies are completed. So I think they are protecting the Maori community, so they can study, because in this era like the study is very important for the students, because like study is like car without steering. That's why they are helping their Maori community to grow up, and they can show to the community that so these are the people from where the New Zealand is.
Okay.
And in partnership.
Just hang on a minute. Even if we discuss one principle, it's fine. Okay, so you have given an example over here. One more understanding about protection is when we talk about culture. Culture is about language. Culture is about symbols. Okay, so there are a lot of Maori symbols, etc., etc. So how businesses use these symbols? Okay, they can either use it in the proper way and be in keeping with protecting these symbols, because these are sacred. Okay, so thinking about protection as protecting cultural symbols, language, etc., can you think of any example either from warehouse or any other where protection is about protecting language, symbols, culture?
So there is a one example in my mind, like recently, warehouse like provide group tasks for their employees and also to the Maori people to increase the participation and promote the participation between their concept also. So also they like do a photo shoot for their flexis. There are like Maori people who are like having tattoos and all the stuff where they are showing their symbols, but they are like understand by the Maori people because they are known or they are familiar with their culture. But some people they try to learn from their things because they are interested, or some of them they are just genuinely doing the research and they like catching their things. That's why I think it is helpful to promoting their Maori culture from warehouse as well.
Okay, fantastic. Those are very good examples. Okay, so that was your section 5, an understanding of the principles and treaty. That was reasonably good. Okay, now if we look at the next one, okay, where again it is about biculturalism and about the Treaty of Waitangi, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Here again, basically the question is slightly different in the sense that we are asking you to think, because warehouse is doing all of this, in future, could they face any problems regarding implementing these type of practices meant to protect or include participation of Maori cultures? So in future, can they face any problems?
So in future, I already think about this one, and so according to me, and I also talk with the like warehouse guy. He's my friend, and he was the one who was like having duty, or we can say like responsibility given by the warehouse to provide laptops to the Maori students. he was telling me like this thing because students are not studying at the moment, and because AUT was having holidays. But after that, he said like there was like a very crowd of people who were buying laptops because of the new session, and he said like some of the students they are not working or they are not having enough living expenses. Because of that, they are not unable to pay their laptop expenses. So this might be, he say like he can have if they distribute 100 laptops, might be have like 5 or 10 who are not paying. So this is a loss for the warehouse company.
Okay, the question is not about loss for warehouse company. As you said, there is a practical problem in implementing because they want to support Maori students. Okay, so if the company wants to continue to support this, okay, one problem is payment issues. Okay, but so considering this payment issue, what do you think the company should stop this practice, because this practice is meant to support Maori students? Okay, so what else can the company do? You have identified a problem in implementing this, correct? Okay, so what else can the company do to solve this issue?
So to solve this issue, company can have their direct debits from the banks, like opt out, like from the city fitness banks. City fitness gyms. They are having like payments direct debit. Like they just take your cards and they deduct from your account. Like they can go in the minus as well. So this is the authority from the bank, I think.
Okay, again you're going back to solving the payment issue. Okay, the main thing is because of this payment issue, the options for the company are stop the scheme, because as it is they don't have the money. Okay, or okay, if they stop this issue, then they are not in keeping with the practices or principles. Okay, so other than stopping this practice, okay, yes, it is a loss for the company, but other than the financial aspects from a culture point of view, how can the company continue this practice? Don't think about the financial aspect. Okay.
So
how can they continue this practice? Because you're saying the problem is payment issues will come up, and payment issues come up because they don't have the money. Correct? Right? So the question is, should the company bear the losses and continue the practice, or should the company come up with different ways of supporting the community?
So company will not stop helping more people, because they are helping, like if they are helping for example 100 of students, if they are only not paying 5 or 7 and they are also students, might they are having living expenses, stress or something like that, because they are studying as well. So company can bear a loss, I think, for 5 to 7 laptops, because they are providing 100 students. So out of 5 who are not paying, I think company will be happy because they are helpful in giving laptops to the 95 rest of the students. Maybe one of them would be topper in the evening.
Okay, very good. That's one nice way of thinking the problem through. Okay, with more detail. I think you have a good understanding now over these, and you've given me a specific example, so that is fine. Just to touch base on some of the previous ones, okay? Now, do you remember which challenge you took up in section 2? Did you do political, did you do economic, or did you do...
No, I did the political.
Okay, you did political.
Yes.
Okay. Right. Now, under political, do you remember what you said, just to give me some idea? Do you remember?
So, in the political system, I was saying like the political system of New Zealand compromises of trade policies and tax policies, and also with the other countries, the structure or extent of bureaucracies. But these factors of the political system affect the operations of an organization, So the working of the warehouse grid is also affected and influenced by the political factors. And also I have written like the company would be impacted from the political factors of other countries while entering the new market for product or business expansion. For example, like entering into UK market would assist warehouse group to support from government, which is politically stable. In the way, warehouse group will be able to manage the business from international and local perspectives.
So that is fairly good. But one thing I need you to clarify, okay? So you're saying that, let's say, warehouse wants to go into UK. Fantastic, because generally speaking, the laws are similar and things like that. Now, thinking if warehouse wants to go to UK, okay, how will that affect their local operations? Would the effect be positive? Would it be negative? If so, what?
So, from my point of view, I think it will be like some, for everything is like pros and cons, but for the first thing, the benefit is they're having good chance to expand their business in UK because our country is like tourist country, so many people are like familiar from UK with the warehouse as well. So I think they're having good we can say like good thing in the eyes of the customer.
Okay.
Good reputation in the eyes of the customer as well. So, but the thing is, but if the warehouse is not able to generate their stock money, they will be there. Maybe because they are having 257 stores in Auckland, in New Zealand. So I think there should be a little bit problem of stock because the stock will be start going to UK as well. So I think the main problem will be the stock.
Okay, so that's basically what we are asking, and it's good that you gave this example because if they expand overseas, it affects perhaps their local operations. So you have given one example of the stock movement, how it would affect local operations. So that is an example of some processes or activities. Now, if you're looking for an example on overall goals, okay, so they want to expand, okay. Now, because they want to expand, will it affect warehouses' goals in New Zealand?
Yes, I think so. It will also affect on the New Zealand goals because it is the same company.
Yes.
First thing is it is the same company and the same money in the company. So I think in the UK when they will start business, first thing is like our currency exchange. So it's our currency is low and their currency is high because they're having funds in their country. So first thing is this one, for example, like if we are taking 1 million with us, so it's going to be over only 7 lakh pounds over there. And after that, the stock coming from the other countries, it will be like distributed in UK and New Zealand, not only New Zealand. So I think it's the main loss for the warehouse. They will start losing their customers in the warehouse. Doesn't matter like they're having just a stock problem for 2 or 3 months, but still they are losing their customers in New Zealand.
Okay, so I will ask this again. What you have said is perfectly right. Okay. So, for example, for local operations, for let's say for 21-22, if warehouse had allocated, let's say, 10 million or whatever it is, okay, for local operations. Now, because they are expanding overseas, okay, will there be a change in the 10 million that they have allocated to New Zealand operations as a group?
No.
Why not?
Because in the planning, if they plan already like 10 million in New Zealand and 10 million in the UK, so I think they're only able to use on this one, because otherwise if they start using their New Zealand money in their UK operations, I think they will start losing both of the customers in UK and New Zealand as well, because they are not able to focus on even on one thing. I think they're just gonna have loss.
Yeah, but the company has limitations in terms of investment, right? If they only have, let's say, 20 million, 10 million they have given here, 10 million they have given to UK. Now, UK is a costly market since you said currency exchange and all that. Okay, if the 10 million is not enough, do you think they could divert some of the local funds to overseas?
Yes, I think so. They can divert a little bit money to the UK as well, because this is going to be the like first store in the UK as well. So there's like reputation of the customers as well. So they need to do a little bit change from the UK market and a little bit different from the New Zealand market as well in the warehouse of UK.
Okay. Okay, to France. Okay, I think that should be fine. Now, in the next one, that is cultural. Okay. Section 3. A similar question. I'm just looking for a simple example. So, which one did you take? Did you take culture? Did you take social? Did you take? You took culture. Okay. So, can you give a specific example of how maybe some of their local goals have changed?
The local goals. So the local goals and objectives of the warehouse is to deliver the best to the customers and beat the competition in the market. And also the goals can be achieved only with the productivity, effectiveness and efficiency of the employees. And in handling diversity will lead to mismanagement and loss of the productivity. Also, a particular marketing task is assigned to a team of members having individuals from different backgrounds. So, if the market message is to be delivered in a special manner, it may happen that due to difference in cultural background, and the message would be delivered in a whole different manner. So, I think it's going to be like this may lead to negative result of warehouse group, which will lead to negativity in the goal.
Okay, that's what you have already said in the assignment. Okay, now let's take the example of UK where they are planning to enter. Okay, so different customer cultures, behaviors, attitudes in UK, different cultures in New Zealand. Okay, so just because this company has gone overseas and they are exposed to those cultures, think about the employees. Maybe some New Zealand employees have gone there to manage the UK operations. Maybe some UK employees the company has brought here to train. Okay, right? So thinking that the company has this new group of employees to train, will the warehouse goals in New Zealand change? So they brought some employees from UK to train over here.
I think so. There is no change because they are just bringing another people to their country just because of training. First thing is training.